Yeah, thank you for tuning in with your girl Tasha. We handle business, we ain't about to gossip. Here to uplift ya, now it's time to boss up. Hey, hey, tune in, nah, you can't miss. Making sure that you get your daily wake up list. We yelling bam, good vibes, good energy. Bam, being authentically me. Shout out Little Mo and Trinity, that's mini me. Gotta keep it in the family. Hey, your girl Tasha, YGT, time to get it hype. Hey, this is what you need. Hey, go ahead, turn it up, this my jam. Being authentically me like bam. With your girl Tasha, hey, let's dance. Being authentically me like bam. Yeah, now it's time to get it. Time to get it. Wake up, time to handle business. Yeah, yeah, hey, now it's time to get it. Time to get it. Wake up, time to handle business. Yeah, we about to get it live with your girl Tasha. Hey, like bam. Let's go.
Hey, it is your girl Tasha, known to the world as Latasha Carpenter, but everybody calls me your girl Tasha because when you hang with me, it is like you are hanging with your girl. And you know what my favorite word is, like the song said, is bam, because I'm always being authentically me. Guys, this is impromptu. Do me a favor, just hit share, okay? Your girl Tasha decided that she was going to go ahead and come on here and do an impromptu hanging with your girl Tasha show. A lot of people have been telling me you've been missing me. So I said, let me just do something out of the norm and just get it on with a little bit of a interview. But of course, you know, guys, I got to have my sidekick with me, right? My sidekick is here, guys.
Yeah, I'm here.
Mr. Relationship Gumbo, the coach, the love coach there, is on here with us. And tonight, guys, we decided that we are going to discuss the Manifest Love Challenge. The way that you become the person that you want to attract. That's supposed to be what the Manifest Love Challenge is supposed to be about. Look, guys, I see y'all coming on. Put a comment in here. Let me know who's here. We'll pull your comments up on the screens. Make sure you share your questions and all that wonderful stuff. And we just going to make it happen. Wow, earlier, Derek, our names was on the screen. Why our names not on the screen this time?
Because you had the banner up.
Oh, okay. Well, y'all know who we are. Derek and Latasha, your girl Tasha and Mr. Relationship Gumbo, whatever you want to call us. Anywho, Derek. So I hit you up about an hour ago because Simone B, which is a influencer in our area.
B Simone.
Oh, B Simone, because I never heard of her until I heard them talking about it earlier today. Hey, Larnice. What's up, Derek? What's up, Terrence from Chicago? Y'all, I'm tired. This not good. Let me drink some of this coffee. Hold on here. I'm off my game. That's all right. You said her name is B Simone.
Yep.
Okay. B Simone, who's an influencer in the local area of the DMV. I've never heard of her at all. But she is doing this thing called the Manifest Love Challenge, okay? And she did a video on Valentine's Day that it rubs some people the wrong way and some people agree with it. So we're going to be sharing this video later on in a few. And I want you to know, hey, if you got children with you, she's using some foul language in the video. So if you got the kids, we coming on at 9 p.m. They're behind, should be in school. It's a school night. And I don't want to hear nothing when we start doing it. But the topic that she has, Derek, when it comes to manifesting love, is about how you determine, I guess, I would say, qualifiers that you have in your relationship. So I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm. She's
only talking to the women in this video.
Right.
She's not talking to men.
Uh-huh.
So my question is really, when it comes to you guys, do y'all think about what you want in a partner, or is that only women that actually in advance think about what they want in a partner?
Men do think about it. The ones that really are relationship minded do think about it. I wouldn't say all men do. It's tricky, right? You'll see a lot of people like B Simone, and there's a lot of other people online that will talk to women more so than they will talk to men, because a lot of times, and these are just the talking points, okay? So please don't take this as this is what Derek feels, but this is what I hear online, right? They'll say that women, black women.
Why I gotta be black women, Derek?
I'm repeating the talking points.
Oh, okay. All right. Women, okay,
are not easily criticized for mistakes that they make, where men, so like for an example, if I'll give you an example, if somebody told you that you're the most beautiful girl in the world and you can have anything you want, you can have any man you want, go for the stars, and then you build a list based on you shooting for the stars. I need Idris Elba. He has to be 6'3". He has to have a six-pack and all of this kind of stuff, right? Because you can have whoever you want. But you may not necessarily be in position to get somebody of that caliber. I'm not talking about someone like Idris Elba. You can have Idris Elba, right?
okay.
You may not necessarily be the type of woman that someone of his stature may look for, right? So then reality sets in, and then Idris Elba walks around your path one day and he says, Tasha, I don't want you. And then you say, why? And he say, well, I like a woman that's a size 2. And then that woman will say, well, why don't you like me? I'm smart. I went to school. I'm pretty. And it's like that information doesn't really go over well, because why wouldn't someone want you? Whereas men, you can tell a man he too short. You can tell a man he ain't this and he ain't that, and we got to suck it up. Those are the talking points.
Okay. So I have to tell you, I'm one of those women that actually don't want Idris Elba. But if you was to say that it was Tyrese, my feelings might be a little bit hurt right now.
Tyrese.
Just a little bit hurt right now. He's so sexy. Anyway, what
he's on Clubhouse.
is he?
Oh, all the time.
Oh, I might have to get on Clubhouse a little bit more now. I see this delay right now, guys. I don't know what my computer and my internet's doing, but that's okay. I'm sure y'all can hear me.
The audio is fine.
Okay, so look, when so in this, of course, because women do this a little bit more, do you think it's good for them to do it spontaneously, to just come up with a list, or do you suggest that a person actually thinks out making a list of what they think of they need for a person's qualities that they want to be with?
Well, I think everybody should have some non-negotiables. Like so there's two different things, right? There's things that are deal breakers, right? Everybody should have a deal breaker list, right?
Okay.
And no matter what your list is, it has to be realistic, right? So you can have a deal breaker list. If this person does this, I got to roll. Then there's that other list of kind of more aesthetic things that then it starts to become more gray, like height, weight, how, did he go to college? Is he an auto mechanic? These type of things, it starts to get gray, because some people build these lists and they're so stringent that almost nobody fits in it. And then you go and wonder why you single, and it's because your list, and they'll say that I got high standards, but it's really like, how many men on the planet really fit that?
They might have lonely standards too. Because of it. I mean, if you just think about it, they just might have lonely standards, right? So what do you think is like the best way for a person to determine what they put on their list? I mean, should we, because I'm going to play the young lady's clip. It sounds like she was just saying that if you have things on the list, you better be every daggone thing that's on that list. All right. And we know that there are some women out there that are miserable and that are unhappy because I think it's lack of belief in their self that they deserve more than what they see within their self. So let me go ahead and just get over before we get to that, I'm gonna go ahead and play this video. Hey there, Dr. Carla. What's up, girl? What's up? Okay, let me play this video. Remember, guys, I'm telling you that she's using some foul language. And if you got kids around, you need to go ahead and just chill out and let them go. Me and Derek gonna pop off the screen for a minute, and then the video is gonna play for you, and we'll be back. One moment.
We got all these things we want in a man. A list of things. He got to be tall. He got to be dark. He got to be handsome. He got to have pretty teeth. He got to be a family man. He got to be financially stable. He got to be rich. He got to be successful. He got to be all these things. And we ain't even half the things on that list. He got to be a family man. Bitch, you ain't talked to your mama in 6 months, but you want him to be a family man. He got to be financially stable. Your account is in the negative, ma'am. Overdraft fees. He got to have a job. You need to go fill out some applications because you're still unemployed. He got to have pretty teeth. You ain't seen a dentist in 6 years. He got to have a six-pack and be in shape. You can't even walk up. We got all these things we want in a man. A list of things. He got to be tall. He got to be dark. He got to be handsome. He got to have pretty teeth. He got to be a family man. He got to be financially stable. He got to be rich. He got to be successful. He got to be all these things. And we ain't even half the things on that list. He got to be a family man. Bitch, you ain't talked to your mama in 6 months, but you want him to be a family man. He got to be financially stable. Your account is in the negative, ma'am. Overdraft fees. He got to have a job. You need to go fill out some applications because you're.
Okay, so my internet is really acting up, but you know your girl Tasha, she always gonna have a figure it out moment. So just give me a moment here. I'm pop Mr. Derek back on the screen with us. I'm gonna give you a thing. Hopefully you can hear me. Let me get my phone hooked up. So y'all just not gonna be able to see her. You're gonna have to hear it. Whew.
And if not, they got the gist of what she was saying.
Well, she didn't. I mean, she didn't even finish it. Hold on. Here we go. And okay, let's see.
He got to be handsome. He got to have pretty teeth. He got to be a family man. He got to be financially stable. He got to be rich. He got to be.
Let me get connected to it. Wait a minute, guys. I'm so Bluetooth. Connect.
You want me to do it?
Are you able to share it from here?
Share it on the screen? No. You want the audio, right?
Yeah, it's oh, here we go. It's trying to connect to my car. Pathfinder, let's connect. There we go. We got it. All right, guys, here we go.
List of things. He got to be tall. He got to be dark. He got to be handsome. He got to have pretty teeth. He got to be a family man. He got to be financially stable. He got to be rich. He got to be successful. He got to be all these things. And we ain't even half the things on that list. He got to be a family man. Bitch, you ain't talked to your mama in 6 months, but you want him to be a family man. He got to be financially stable. Your account is in the negative, ma'am. Overdraft fees. He got to have a job. You need to go fill out some applications because you're still unemployed. He got to have pretty teeth. You ain't seen a dentist in 6 years. He got to have a six-pack and be in shape. You can't even walk up a flight of stairs without huffing and puffing. Get your life together. This whole list that he got to be. You ain't even half the things on that list. So this is what I challenge you to do. So we can manifest love all 2021. Make that list of that perfect dream man that you got in your mind. Then, what I did, make a list of the type of woman he would need right by his side. You want him to be in shape? You need to get to the gym. Equally yoked, bitch. You want him to be financially stable? Well, you need to start saving. Because you can't keep a dime to your name. Huh? You want him to be a family man? Call your mama. You become a family woman. Heal your traumas before you put all this shit on him. You want him to be patient. Bitch, your patience is thin. You want him to be understanding. You're the least understanding person in your circle of friends. But he got to be understanding. Fix you. Fix you. Whatever you want, become that. Fuck. He gotta be in shape, bitch. You eat chips every day. You heal. Let's become the person we want to attract. How about that?
So she said, become the person that you want to attract. Now, break that down for me, Derek, as a man. What do you think about that? And everybody who's on here, type what you think about what she said.
So there's some nuance here, right? Because you can't really take it literally all the way, even though, like, you know, because, you know, we're not young. We've seen people in our lives that have been in relationships that wasn't nowhere near close to being equal, and it worked for whatever reason. I think the real conversation becomes there's a couple different things here, right? Number one, it's really about not necessarily being equal. Like, if I make 100, you gotta make 100,000. If I'm physically fit and ripped, you gotta have a flat tummy too. I don't think that works in most cases. I think people just kind of, you know, they connect however they connect. But here's the other thing: when you want to be on the market to find somebody to eventually marry, long-term relationship, whatever it is you guys are doing these days, call it what you want. Are you showing up as your best self, right? And then I'm gonna get to a third point after this. And when I say your best self, doesn't mean you have to be this perfect ideal, but there's a difference between someone who was striving to be better, because you can work with that person, or it's this person that's chilling at home, you know, being the least of themselves and wanting the most without even trying to kind of be better themselves. That's a whole different type of person. The other thing is, when you create this list of all of these things that you want, then you have to kind of subconsciously put yourself in that man's shoes and say, would this type of man want someone like me? And I know you got a comment. I don't know if you want to read it.
Yeah, Dr. Caller said, you really can't expect perfection because no one is perfect, but standards are definitely important. I don't want a man without ambition, stability, and unhealed. Dating while healing doesn't work. You're right about that, Dr. Caller. She always on point when she come on.
And that's what I was saying. The person who had, and to use her word, ambition and having the drive and the motivation to be better and do better, then you can kind of work with that person. It's not going to be, I don't think you ever, sometimes people find this perfect equal thing, but what I always tell, because I have these conversations every day on Clubhouse, they talk about this stuff all the time. You never really, like, love and connectivity doesn't really work that way. Like the way we connect, the energy and all of that stuff doesn't calculate stuff on a spreadsheet. So you have to leave room for some things in order for you to really connect. But you got to be smart about it. Like, we're not young. We're not looking for somebody that's not going to be, hopefully, you know, financially stable. And things happen, right? You could lose your job and all of that. And that's where the ambition come in that Dr. Carla was talking about. You know, this person is going to still try their best to make it work, versus somebody just kind of sitting there saying, here's my list. If you ain't my list, oh well, and I'm gonna just sit back and wait for this person to come pay my bills because that's what my man's supposed to do, or that's who my woman's supposed to do. I'm gonna just chill. That type of person don't even need to have no list. They need to work on themselves first. And I think what B. Simone was alluding to is that there are a lot of people that have lists, but they don't have any motivation to do anything themselves. And those are the people that she was really talking to.
Okay. Now, to the ones that really don't, that there could be people, I think there's two categories probably of people that don't have any motivation. Would you say that we need to drill down to why they don't have any motivation? For instance,
exactly.
Like the woman who doesn't have any motivation because she simply doesn't believe that she's worthy of having anything better. What do we look at, and what type of message do we send to those individuals out there?
Go to therapy.
Go to therapy.
No, seriously. Sometimes when we get down to that point Now you're looking at all of these, different things, like she may be depressed. She may not be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And sometimes you need somebody to help you out with that, especially if you've been like that for like years and years and decades. Then you really maybe you need to hear from another voice. Because that's the reason why you can't find anybody, is because that energy is out in the universe.
Right. So then probably with the person, I laughed when you said go to therapy, because that's the normal question. But a lot of people, they just like, therapists don't help us resolve things. But the bottom line is that person, sometimes you need somebody to help you understand what love is.
Yeah.
From the aspect of being able to give it out to the world and receive it and give it back to yourself. So
the thing about it is, not to cut you off, but the thing about it is people look at therapy and counseling as a fix to the problem. And that's why they don't go, is because they're like, no one can fix me. But it's not about fixing. It's helping you manage what's going on with you so that you can have a more prosperous life and know how to deal with it and tuck it away sometimes, but it never goes away. And what I always tell people is, remember the first time you broke up and how hurt you was in a relationship? If I told you to think about it right now, you could tell me exactly how it felt. It's still there. You just learn how to manage it and work around it, but it never goes anywhere. And that's anything that you're dealing with that may be stifling you. It's really about putting the puzzle pieces together and trying to figure out the why, and then trying to figure out how to manage it.
Exactly. And Dr. Carla said that counseling and deliverance is needed before dating. And she also talked about the fact that you must see what kind of stock the person comes from too, because from spiritual standpoint, dysfunction runs through generations. Yep. So in that case, then the Larnice is saying true.
Because here's the thing, like now, like I hate to sound like, because I sound like how we used to look at older people when we were younger, and they'd be like, yeah, back in the day when I was coming up. But back in the day, we used to court and you used to meet the family. Now people just like whatever. And to Dr. Carla's point, sometimes you can tell a lot of stuff about a person once you see their mom and their daddy and their family.
To know how they raised them.
Say what?
Yeah, if you see how they raised them, and you see how how their siblings also act, and everybody, again, as Carla said, the stock, everybody acting the same way. I know for me, I saw red flags when it came to my marriage, because I saw how my ex-husband parents raised him, and I saw how all the boys acted and everything whenever it came to a female, and ultimately that red flag that I saw became the detriment of the marriage, because he never understood creating our own traditions. So definitely, you Dr. Carla on that is some scary stuff. You need to see their parents, and I think about it. What are you doing if you're not dating the person and you just kicking it or something? I guess, because I know with a lot of the young kids, I have to talk about it. My baby girl, she'd be like, well, Mom, I wanna figure things out sometimes before I introduce somebody to you. And I don't think that's a good idea.
Yeah, a lot of times, especially if you come from good parents, a lot of times we underestimate the discernment that they in the life that they've lived, and the discernment. Because a lot of times, if you have parents or family members or friends that's in your corner and they know who you are, they see that stuff coming a mile away when you kind of got the little butterflies still going. But we think we know everything, and we go through it, and then we deal with it. But because what I hear and talk about online, a lot of people will say, did you introduce him to your dad? And they're like, no way, I would never do that. And it's like, yeah, but he was going to be the one to tell you if that was going to be, if you have a good dad in your life, he can be the one to be like, I already see where that dude coming from.
Look, Dr. Collins said people overlook red flags when they think they're in love or don't want to be alone. Women intuition is always real.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm
a grown man, and I'm telling you that thing be right 99% of the time.
Do men have the same type of intuition, or
Not
do
like
they,
y'all got. Not like
do
y'all
they
got it.
even care about the intuition?
That's a gift from God that y'all have. I don't think we have it like y'all do.
And how hard should you, like what Dr. Collins said, when you're in love and you chose to ignore the intuition before, how hard should that make for every man that comes after that?
So here's the thing, right? You say how hard should it, like, once somebody gets hurt?
Yeah, I mean, if you realize that, okay, I might have saw some kind of red flags, or there might have been something that you didn't realize was a non-negotiable for you, but you put in that person through the third degree. I mean, you're breaking down every little word that you hear them say.
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? It's really about being self-aware and discovering who you really are and what you want. Sometimes you got to take time to figure that out. But when you do, you build these things we call boundaries, right? And when you know what it feels like to be hurt, you know what don't feel like. When it starts to feel like that, you put your boundaries up and say, no, sir, I gotta go because this don't feel right. My intuition kicking in. I don't know what's going on. But we ignore that because we see this cute person, or this person that took us to a place we never been before. And oh my God, the conversation sounds good. And the boundaries they gone. And it's like, it's weird because you don't want to turn into the person who assumes everybody has red flags, because you'll never see the green ones.
Dr. Collins says you have got to heal and do some self-reflection before dating again, because the next man who's real will be put through hell.
Yep.
Larnice talked about the men having intuition, said that there's no power, that the man doesn't have anything like that. And she also talked about the fact that her son never wants to meet their girlfriends. So in that case, what do you, okay, so let's go back to, you said, yep, with what Dr. Collins said, you're going to put them in hell. So speak to that. And then
when you put them through hell, you create Billy.
Oh Lord, they don't know who the hell Billy is on this.
I'm just saying, when you put I'm not even going to use the names. When you have not healed and you are going and you're putting another man through hell, sometimes that man turns into something else, and then he goes out and hurts another woman, and then the cycle it keeps repeating itself. And the answer to it is that you need to take a step back and detox from all the crap that you're dealing with and figure out what you want. That doesn't mean take yourself off the dating market for 15 years. That means figure out what your boundaries are. Not so much that you don't let anybody feel who you are, but there's some things that you just won't. They can only do what you allow.
That's right. Okay, so with the whole thing, Larnice talking about reversing it. It's the son, and let's say that the son bring it home to the parents, but in a situation you're dealing with, me and Larnice are both single mothers.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you have to say about Gregory Richards said, hurt people. Exactly, yep. Gregory. So what do you have to say with regards to when there's a single mom that has to take on that role because it's not a two-person household and you're dealing with a son versus a single mom and a daughter?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, unfortunately, you can't control everything. You would want for them to bring them home and, introduce them, but you got to hopefully trust that the foundation you put in them will hold true over time. But we all been there. We all thought we knew everything, and then we end up getting hurt, and we survive, hopefully, and we try to heal from it. Hopefully, everybody doesn't heal, because I was an unhealed person for a lot of years, doing a lot of damage out there, and didn't notice to stop or to take some time to myself. And I know a lot of people have done that, and it's essential. And we could tell our kids, whether they're teenagers or in their 20s or whatever, we can tell them all we want to, but sometimes they got to fall on their face, unfortunately, and hopefully it doesn't turn into something that's, a lifelong trauma.
Okay, so in your healing process, were you ever, Dr. Collins talks about serial daters, And the fact that they just keep dating and they keep screwing folks up. I'm glad I got my glasses on, because when I read it the first time, all I heard is saying they keep screwing folks. I said, "Oh, what is Dr. Caller right?" And she said, "Screwing folks up." There's a difference between that. Mr. Gregory Richards said, more often than not, if a woman does not have a sense of purpose, goals, dreams, or aspirations, she will only attract penis, not a person interested in her. You go ahead and you say that thing, Mr. Gregory. That's right.
Very true. And that's because when you're broken in that way, you're going to attract someone else to trauma bond with, and that other person that's coming with the other trauma normally looks like a player or somebody that just don't give a damn about your emotions, and he gonna get what he want to get. And the unfortunate thing is, when you are in that state, you're going to allow him in without any too much to little to no work at all. It's like easy pickings. Okay. And then guess what? Once that easy pickings happens and you get hurt again, that damage goes even deeper, and then you don't want to be by yourself, so you go back out there and try to date some more people.
What's not always true, Dr. Caller? Are you saying, to Gregory's point, that that's not always true, or what's not always true?
And we're not talking absolutes here.
She said most men can't be alone earlier. She said most men can't be alone, so they will keep on doing their own thing there. She said what's not always true is women that have it all attract them kapoots. They attract them kapoots too.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right about that. You're right about that.
To Gregory's point, thank you. Yeah. You are right, because I'm gonna tell you, I think,
and that's where the boundaries come in.
Right. I really feel that overall, well, no, I got some purpose. I got some goals. I got some dreams, and I got some aspirations. But I tell you, I be sending you them screenshots of some of them jokers that be coming in my inbox of that foolishness, and I have to shut them down. We had one early this morning, came in my inbox with some foolishness, and But
here's the thing, though. If you didn't have boundaries or discernment to shut them down like that, and you was just one of those people that just needed somebody, you might have entertained a couple of them. Yeah, that's how it works.
Dr. Caller said, "I am a boundary girl, and men get upset with them."
And that's exactly what's supposed to happen. That's exactly what's supposed to happen. Because I tell people about my little cautionary tale all the time. The women that I hated the most when I was out there was the one that had boundaries. It was my job to break them down. And when you was like, sir, you haven't called me in 2 weeks. You can go ahead and do what you got to do. And I used to be like, but what's going on? And when they were staunch about that, I didn't have any other choice but to leave them alone.
Exactly. That's all you have to do. You got that. Someone told me one time before, what you permit is what you promote. So don't start permitting if you don't want to start promoting what they're doing. She said that she is just trying to keep trying to come back though. Yeah, Dr. Caller, look, that's what old dude did this morning. He came into my inbox, brand new, never knew me. Let me just find it real quick.
You got receipts.
I know. I keep that stuff. Look, and I always send them to my boy Derek, because I be like, you see this joker and what this joker done try to do? That joker, I'm not going to say his name because I allowed him to stay on my friends list. So if you're watching this, I've allowed you, but I have a block list as long as the Constitution too. This comedian comes into my sends me a friend request. And when people send me a friend request that I don't know, guys, I'm always asking them, I'll tell them, thank you for the request, and basically, are you looking for the business opportunity? You looking to buy a product, or what cost you to reach out to me? Anyway, this joker, when he reached out to me, he basically said that he was comfortable with the type of money that he's making already. No. This is what he did, guys. Where is the name? Hold on. Trying to find how many. Lord, is more than one? Okay. I'm trying to find the original thing because I don't want the I sent you the recording of what I said to them too, Derek, and I don't want that to play. Oh, maybe I could turn it down.
Are you playing the audio too?
No, I don't want it to play the
Okay, I was
audio.
about to say no.
Guess what, guys? He's not friends on my friends list anymore now. He blocked me. So anyway, this is what it goes good. Mr. Tony Baker came into my Facebook page, and he's a comedian. When I asked him, oh Lord, he done deleted all the messages too. Look at this.
I can paraphrase.
Look,
I remember it.
Oh no, because I sent you the video of it, so I got the screenshot. That joker deleted all the messages too. So he real mad, Derek.
Spin City said his name is Billy.
Oh my God, he is so mad, Derek. That's what his name was. Okay, so look, the bottom line, guys, is when he came into my mailbox, he hit me back when I asked him what prompted it. He's to send me something talking about, hello fans, how are you doing? Thank you for being a fan and linking to my page and video. May God bless you. Y'all know your girl Tasha. I said, Joker, how you gonna send me a friend request and talking about thank you for linking to your page and being a fan and you don't know me? And he didn't know what to do. So I told him, I said, you got the right one because people call me your girl Tasha. I'm always being authentically me. But then he goes around and he says that he wants to know, can you tell me more about yourself? I told him I'm an entrepreneur. I'm building a global business and I'm looking to help people and help 100 families this year. Then he goes back, okay, but can you tell me more than that? And I was like, no, I can't tell you anything else. Then he says, I said, that's all you need to know about me. That joker came back and said, are you married? I sent him back again. That's all you need to know about me. But he mad. He got mad. He deleted the messages out of the thing too. Yeah, that's Billy. Look at Spin City. Look, she said it. That's Spin City know about who Billy is. Gregory Richards, Lord have mercy. That is so funny. When you lead with your body parts, not your intellect and passions, you will attract a man that only wants one thing, that which you are showcasing. All right, Mr. Gregory. Do you know Tony Baker? Spin City, do you know Tony Baker? Yes, that was who it is. He's a comedian. I think you was his mutual friend. Oh God, tell him I called his name out. And Dr. Carla said to Gregory, truth, Gregory, I however always lead with intellect. Jokers just try their hand and I quickly put them in their place if there is a slick disrespect simple. And Dr. Carla said, yes, he's definitely a joker. Oh, Spin City, I'm going to send you the original so you can hear the voice memos I sent to him too. I got you. So, but yeah, that's just crazy.
But that's the thing, right? When men do that, right? We only do it because it's worked before. He thought, him being a comedian or whatever was gonna give him like the little path to come in. I want to know more about you. And you supposed to be like, oh, really? But when you shut him down, ego blown the smithereens. And so he didn't really have a choice but to block you at that point and disappear because he had egg on his face at that point. Boundaries. But that's why I keep telling you, ladies, if you don't have no boundaries, you might as well stay at home because you're going to get got real fast.
But that is so funny to me. That's the first one that usually they try to come back. I guess he must really, really, really have a big ego because usually they keep trying to come back. And you know
why they do that, right? Because when you shut them down, right? Because it's worked for them before, right? They are hoping to catch you at a moment of weakness where your boundaries might not be as strong. So if they come back 2 weeks later, maybe you forgot, or maybe you went in a state of mind. Because this is the thing. Here's the from the rule book, right? The odds of you being happy, like let's say you're in a relationship in 2021 with all of these statistics out here, they know that a lot of people, men and women, are in relationships and they're not happy, right? So they're going to try to bank on that. They're going to try to bank on, if you're single, you're not out here really dating a lot. So you're probably at home chilling. So if I wait a couple weeks, she's going to be lonely one day and I'm going to catch her. And when I do, I'm going to go ahead and work my magic. The boundary's still in place. What can they do? But get blocked. So
look, Derek, I'm sorry. Dr. Collins started something. She made 2 questions pop in my head. Now I'm going to go here with this. She said, it helps to keep your legs closed too. I got that part. Now, let's go with the whole thing. 2 things popped in my head with that. Keeping your legs closed. We all know that Steve Harvey, we got his book, and basically he talks about 6 months at a minimum before you have sex with somebody, right?
6 months?
Yes.
I thought it was 90 days.
Oh, maybe his is 90 days, but there's more. Okay, it might be 90 days. I heard somebody else today, though, say a year on a radio show. Mm-hmm. Another person said that's what it was, 6 months to 9 months is what they're looking for. Mm-hmm. What is your whole thoughts about that whole timer and how you set it up? And if a person, just because a person in any case, just because they agree that, okay, I'm willing to wait the 90 days for you. First of all, the woman shouldn't be telling them that I'm making you wait 90 days. Am I right or wrong?
That's what I was going to say.
Okay. And a lot of times when you tell them that you have this deadline, you know, I have a minimum 90-day rule, then you're telling them too much, which is a mistake that we make as women by we give the dudes all the information, when really for a woman, if there's a time, I always say in my business, when my team is talking to clients, you got 2 ears and a mouth for a reason. That really truly applies to us ladies, that we really need to just let the men talk when we're starting to date them.
Yeah. I always subscribe to whether it's 90 days, 6 months, whatever the time frame is, have the meaningful conversations and ask the questions you need to know. Whether they're honest or not, at least you got answers, right? And then you can figure it out and match it up to their behavior. Use your discernment as to when you feel comfortable with that person. Because sometimes when you put a hard line on things, so what about day 89? What about, 5 months?
Like he said, I'm not waiting no 6 months.
So I don't like that. I don't like putting those hard lines when you have 2 people that are growing, and these are people, of course, because people believe in people that are having relations outside of marriage. If they're going to do it, if you're in a growing situation, then it'll eventually get to that point, and whenever that is, it is. Right? If you're not growing and you just doing whatever, then then the cards. That's what 2021 dating is anyway. So
okay, but tell me, I'm a woman and I sit down and let's say that I break that rule that a lot of women break, and I actually say to you, well, I don't sleep with anyone unless before 6 months. What are you gonna do, Derek?
And you break it? If you told me that ahead, then you broke it?
No, I tell you that ahead. What are you going to do? When you hear that, what are you going to do as a man?
It depends on how much I value who you are. Right? Because if I have respect for you and I really want to get to know you based on the phone conversations, based on the dates that we've been on, and I really feel like you are legitimate, I'm a relationship-minded dude, okay? If I know that you qualify as somebody that I want to get to know, then I'll accept that. But if I'm just out here willy-nilly, if you give me that deadline and I really want it, I'm going to just go ahead and do what I'm doing, and I'm going to wait your time out, and I'm going to get it, and then I'm going to ghost you.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want the ladies to know, because you will think that man would tell you that he's doing it. Oh, I love you and all this other kind of stuff. And he might be waiting on you, but he getting it from somebody else. Yes, Derek, there you go. Dr. Collins said you do not tell people to do that. Now, Gregory has said earlier, happiness must come from within, not from someone else. The question remains, why do people look to be whole and complete from someone else? And Dr. Carla followed up on that by saying, you can't be whole from another. Healing while dating never works. So what do you have in response to the question that Gregory presented, Derek?
I don't think that was a question, but I can comment on.
He said the question remains, but he also said, I think that's very wise for a woman to tell the man. I think that's very wise for a woman to tell the man up front. Real men can appreciate a woman that has a sense of purpose and boundaries. Oh no, Greg. You might
find real men.
I know you might find that real man out there, but most of the times you're gonna find a joker.
Oh, don't say that.
I'm sorry. If you tell them in advance, you go. That's most of the time it's gonna be a joker response. He will do exactly what I asked you to do, even if he likes the person. I think that real men should just show their self and reveal their self. You gotta. I'm not saying that all men are jokers or whatever, but I think that some men, when they hear that, it's very hard to find a man that's gonna appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, and you know, there's other ways to do it without actually putting a limit on it. Like you could say things like, I'm not ready yet. I want to get to know you more. And when I'm ready, you know, and it feels comfortable, then, you know, it'll happen naturally when I'm comfortable. And then that could be 6 months and he just gonna have to suck it up if he really wants you. He might be pissed off, but if he really wants you, then he gonna do what he got to do to get you.
That's right. And Dr. Carla talking about when the representative shows up, you just date and see where he's coming from. People only can pretend for so long, especially men. Exactly. You always figure out who is the representative. Gregory,
I preach this all the time where what I always tell people is you have those conversations early about intentions. Once that person answers the questions, even if they're lies, they have to match up to their behavior. And to Dr. Carla's point, if you playing around, the behavior isn't matched to the words, and it's not going to take long to do it. The reason why people think it takes long for a liar to last long, 6 months, a year, 2 years, is because they mastered the art of breaking down your boundaries. That's it. It's that simple. The whole trick is if I make you relax your boundaries, then you're going to allow me to do more than what I qualify to do. And then you like, dang, it took him a year and I finally found out he lied. No, he been doing it the whole time.
Gregory, your two comments. One, you said most women playing more than most women. Most women playing more than most women. And then your next comment said, what you believe plus your behavior equal your brand. Can you break those down for me, Derek? Because I done lost him on both of those.
I'm gonna need you to do that. So,
Greg, clarify what you just saying, because that went over my head. I was looking at it for a while before I put it up on the screen. Dr. Carla said, in the DMV, there are many thirsty women because there is a lack of quality available men. So many times, if you don't put out, they'll go somewhere else. However, healthy standards are important. Men, however, go hard for what they really want.
Yep.
So how do you stop the thirst, Derek?
At this point, it's a thirst epidemic. I don't even know. See, here's the thing, right? It's a reciprocal thing, right? You could say that women are thirsty, right? Which means the man doesn't have to do as much. But then the man can come in and not do a lot as long as you don't require it. So it's like it's a cycle, right? So the woman could say, well, I'm going to make the man step up. But if everybody else is not making the man work, a lot of times he's going to go somewhere where it's the least amount of work. How it used to be back in the day, you used to have to put the work in. So it didn't matter who you went to, they would be like, oh no, we going on a date. We not doing that. Now it's like whatever. Because people are claiming, even though I think most of them aren't really honest, They're claiming that they don't ever want to be in anything serious. I don't ever want to, be married. I don't ever want to be whatever. I just want to hang out and go with the flow. And I'm like, how long are you flowing? How long is it going with the flow? I don't know what it is, but we pretending to be boyfriend and girlfriend, but we don't have a title. I don't.
Okay, so Gregory says, now this makes more sense, Greg. Your beliefs must be aligned with a behavior that can be measurable outcome. So a person sometimes can have certain beliefs, but the way that they act make people question whether or not your belief is true. Yeah. A woman can't make a man step up. That's part of the problem. I don't want no man that I'm trying to make to step up. I don't got time for that.
The stuff I be seeing out here now, because I'm in these different conversations, a lot of these different conversations, just to kind of see where people's heads are, and a lot of them don't even really want what we traditionally like. And I'm talking about like the 20 somethings and maybe like early 30s. They're like, I don't want that. I don't want a marriage. I don't want a long-term relationship, because they think that if they claim that they don't want it, that it will protect them from being hurt. And the thing about it is, what we learned growing up was, when you go out with somebody, it's always a gamble. Like hopefully you have your discernment, and it's a gamble, and hopefully it will work. Nowadays, they're like, if I just don't commit to anyone, I'm gonna be safe.
That's terrible too?
It is.
So look, the other question is, what is the man trying to achieve that knows that you are in a relationship? You tell them you're in a relationship. They may think that you're not serious about the relationship or whatever, but when you guys say that you don't care about the other dude, that's not your problem.
Yeah, you know why? Because there's a lot of women out here that's saying yes, a lot, more often than you would like to think, because people get in marriages for the wrong reasons, and they sit in a hell state. And when somebody comes along and say something nice and sound good, then sometimes even a married woman will entertain it. And if a guy has done that with 10 married women, when he meets you, he's going to be like, I don't care about that dude. What's up? And he's hoping that you're going to be like all the others.
Okay. And then they get their feelings hurt.
For a moment, until they find another one.
I know.
Because they're out there. Like the odds of, and I hate to say this, but we know how high the divorce rate is, right? What, for whatever reason, right? Mm-hmm. The odds of me finding someone, male or female, that's unhappy in a relationship is very high.
Right.
It's very high. So then, if I'm super charming, may you not like the way it feels? And then the next step is that person willing to entertain you to get that dopamine high that you just gave them over and over again? And then it starts to look like cheating and all this other kind of stuff. But dudes don't just approach married women because it's cute. They do it because it works. Okay,
but that dude that's just approaching married women, like you said, they done did it 9, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12 times before.
A lot of times the married women,
they're not worth a darn, right?
Say it again.
Then most likely they're not worth a damn.
A lot of times the married women are the aggressors, not even the men.
Dr. Caller said, around here, people are staying in relationships only for the money and with the kids. Oh, that's so true. That's so true. I think I was guilty of it, not because of the money per se. It was the money because I was worried about, could I make it on my own? And I was worried about hurting the children, but the children were resilient and I had Beta to help me with the money. Gregory says all relationships are seasonal. They're presupposed is you get better as you get older and mature. Our culture does not understand commitment. He's still
right about that.
There's a bunch of
a bunch
It's more married men shooting their shot than single men.
That's absolutely true. Absolutely true. So I
And
always tell this story about when I went to this bar, and I overheard this group of married. They were like, oh yeah, they weren't talking to me, but you can kind of overhear them. But they was just like, oh, where my husband is at home and blah blah blah, right? And they just having fun, girls' night out, right? Sex in the City, they getting it in, and it was three of them, and then you see three men come in. I'm thinking it's their husbands. Nope, these are dudes that they meet at the club. And the club is inside of the restaurant, inside of a hotel. So they all got rooms. They go to the rooms, then they come back down and dance like nothing happened, and they go home. And I was like, I didn't see a lot of stuff in my life, but my mouth was open. I was like, because I don't know if it was the same room, but like they all didn't go at the same time. They waited for the next one to come down before they went. And I was just like, y'all got a whole machine going here. Yeah, and I was like, what?
Now we're gonna wrap this up, but I gotta go with Mr. Gregory thing. I got a question for you, Mr. Gregory. What does a married woman look like? Derek, if you could sign something like that, because he said if that married woman does not look like she's married, a man will try her. But tell me what the hell does a married woman look like?
I think he's more talking about how she's behaving, how she's carrying herself out there. It's not looking like a married woman out in the street. You out doing stuff like you single, then somebody's going to try you a lot of times. And a lot of times, men will try you and you'll be like, you'll hold up the ring, be like, look, I'm married. And they be like, oh, so?
Oh, he said not looking like she works at the strip club. So there's a physical element up there with what he's saying. He totally disagree. I'm part of a community of men, Real Men International. A lot of the happily married men. I'm one of them. 21 years in.
No, you're right, Gregory. But I'm telling you right now, it's a lot that are not doing what you're doing. A whole hell of a lot. There's and it's getting worse. It's getting worse. And it speaks to the why people get married. A lot of times people get married because, time served. We got a kid. We might as well do it. We've been together for a certain amount of years, and they don't connect the way that they should. They don't build a foundation the way they should, and they just jump in it. And then it's almost like two single people in the house.
Dr. Carla said that is a small community, Gregory. Gregory said there are a lot of people in relationships that are miserable and cheating.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're right, Greg. But you're not one of them in 21 years in. And if you were one of them, you wouldn't be typing it for your girl Tasha put up on the screen either, though. I'm being bad. Okay,
I'm happy with my going on 11 years. So I know, but as a guy who is a relationship coach, and I have these conversations with a lot of people, and I hate to keep saying Clubhouse, but on Clubhouse, Jesus, you want to talk about thousands, and they don't care. It's women on there right now that I was in a room for like a couple minutes, and these women were like professing how incredible it was to be a side chick, and they was like, I don't really give a damn as long as I'm getting what I want, and they was proud. And I'm like, so this, and the thing about it wasn't that the chick was saying that. It was that there was about 10 to 20 women that was like, yeah, girl, get what you can get. And I'm like, so y'all cool with this?
Why didn't you send me that link? I would have came on that one.
Oh, I'm gonna start linking you when I go.
he be sending me links to boring stuff sometimes. I'll hop on that one, be like, girl,
okay,
what's wrong with you?
Yeah, and the thing about it is they're not alone. It's a lot. Because what Dr. Carla was saying earlier about, it's more women than men, and they feel like whatever they competing and all this other kind of stuff. It's some women that's like, you know what? If I can't find one, I'm gonna share one.
Okay, well, I know what. With that being said, y'all must be thinking to yourself right now, wow, that dude is so on point. He's so on point. He is a relationship coach. He actually does. Tell him what you do, Derek. Tell him what you do. I was about to say you be having people coming in. Tell him everything you do, Derek.
Well, I am a certified life and relationship coach who just happens to be a NASA engineer. So my brain's a little more analytical, but I lend my analysis to human behavior. I've been doing it for decades unofficially, and now I'm officially doing it. And I coach people. I do group coaching, one-on-one coaching. I have a podcast, a Relationship Gumbo podcast every Wednesday at 8 p.m. And we just talk it out. And we peel the layers back, that a lot of layers that you don't really talk about a lot, to understand the why. I'm not a therapist, but I've done seen some things. And I, instead of me just saying, work it out, go do this, like for an example, I'll say, sometimes people will stack their hurt in their arguments, and people don't realize that when you holding on to that, it informs how you treat your partner. It informs how you deal with them. And until you find a basis of having safe spaces and communication, you're not going to be able to respect each other, and you're always going to be fighting. And I'm here to champion the team, #team. I don't want y'all fighting no more. That's what I'm here for. I want us to love each other again. I want us to grow relationships. And so I figure and found out that was my purpose. And I love doing the techie stuff, but I really want to champion love. So that's what I do. Dr. Carla, I am me. I'll help you out. No problem.
Yeah, Dr. Carla, he'd be watching you making all the comments on my show. He thinks you're a sharp person, Ladybug. He thinks you are a sharp person.
Spin City need to stop it.
I'm going to get to Spin City. I'm going to go up here and catch Carla talked about that people are users and they never get far. I'm using folks, they need to reap what they sow. And Spin City said, Dirk Jones has a podcast. I'll look him up. Spin City, you've been on the air so long. Hold on, Spin.
That's why I say she need to stop.
I'll make sure that I'll put y'all in the chat together, Dr. Carla, that way. But you know what? Let me go back to my girl, Spin City. Spin, let me tell you, you remember I sent you an inbox of Derek's live, and you came up with a name for you, me, and that MF. Okay. So I thought I was doing something, Spin. I went and I told Derek, I said, Spin City has started a fan club for you.
That ain't no fan club, but go ahead.
I said, she started a fan club. She said that me, Michelle, that MF, Michelle Ford, we are the RG Wolf Pack. And RG stands for Relationship Girl Go. Look, she just put it there. She said Wolf Pack, baby. Girl,
the Wolf Pack ain't always nice to me, though.
Girl, he said boo. He said
the Wolf Pack ain't always nice to me. Sometimes the Wolf Pack come for me, but I still love y'all.
Whatever. We are your. I told him, Spin. I said it's like Beyonce and the Beehive. We the Wolf Pack. We got your back. Let's see what Gregory talking about. As a consultant and a coach for 20 years, I would encourage everyone to start with self and do the work on personal development. By doing so, you get better on purpose with insight and inspiration.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Mr. Greg, consultant and coach for over 20 years. We might have to have an impromptu with you one day, too. Spin City says, laughing my butt off.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of letters on there. Nobody trying to, if that means something, I'm not trying to figure it out.
That's funny. Well, that's Helen, and Spin City says, speak Greg. All right, guys. So with that being said, this is your impromptu hanging with your girl, Tasha. I know a lot of you guys keep saying that you mentioned something. If I could stay out of Facebook jail, I might be able to do something regular, but I can't stay out of Facebook jail for whatever reason. But that's all right. So, Derek, I know that you love me, even as a member of the Wolf Pack, because you wouldn't be here tonight at the last minute.
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
We appreciate you. And she said good stuff. And with that, guys, don't forget, oh, no jail. I know I still got to interview you, Dr. Carla.
I just added Dr. Carla as a friend.
Don't forget the deliverance piece. That's right. That was good. Okay. He got you. All right, guys. Good night, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I have no idea when the next one will be, but it'll be something that will happen for sure. Bye, guys.
All right. Bye-bye.
Ain't nobody hotter. Thank you for tuning in with your girl Tasha. We handle business, we ain't about to gossip. Here to uplift ya. Now it's time to boss up. Hey, tune in, nah, you can't miss. Making sure that you get your daily wake up list. We yelling bam, good vibes, good energy. Bam, being authentically me. Shout out Little Mo and Trinity. That's mini me. Gotta keep it in the family. Hey, your girl Tasha, YGT. Time to get it hype. Hey, this is what you need. Hey, go ahead, turn it up. This my jam. Being authentically me like bam. With your girl Tasha, hey, let's dance. Being authentically me like bam. Yeah, now it's time to get it. Wake up, time to handle business. Yeah, hey, now it's time to get it. Wake up, time to handle business. Yeah, we about to get it live with your girl Tasha. Hey, like bam. Let's go.